All right, we are live once again. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Chris, and this is my channel. We love comics, and I'm loving this. So far, we got no viewers and already one like, so we have a ghost in the live chat. So welcome, everybody. This channel is all about telling my perspective on comics, showing live unboxings of things, so nothing is ever edited or no trickery is ever involved. I just show it to you as it is. You make up your own mind, and then you go from there. If a recommendation of mine is something that you are interested in, or if you're just here to hear one of my rants, whatever, I welcome each and every one of you and always encourage you to join the live chat when the video is live. You don't have to be a subscriber. Just want to hear conversations, come on in. So we got 3 people that are here. And I wanted to give a quick shout out, but before I do that, just want to show on the AI art that I just made. As always, I'd love to hear your opinion of what you think of the AI art. All my thumbnails for the past year or so have now been only AI art. So I thought I'd do something different today. Leave a comment about that if you want. But if you see on the bottom of the screen, you will see a bunch of comics that I am looking to acquire via a trade. These are comics that I, as of now, unless I win the lottery, do not have the finances to be able to afford. But I want to show my viewers that you don't need money to acquire the things that you love or have passion or would love to get in your life. Deals can always be made. So if you're somebody that has an extra one of the comics that are listed that's scrolling by and you'd like to do a trade, I have a video of about 30 to 35 all graded comics that I sent in raw myself, so you don't have to worry about if anything's ever been switched or something of, you know, the situations that are going on in the world, because they were all my comics that I bought, sent in to get graded. I did a video about 3 months ago. If there's something in there that catches your fancy, or even if it takes several books, please contact me at peacefulfeelings@yahoo.com. I would love to show my viewers that deals can be made in other ways than just having cash. Also, I just did a post yesterday and got some good responses for it, and it's also shouting out one of my subscribers who bought one of my comic book mystery packages, and you could see in the live chat that I posted the link to my website. You'd have to scroll all the way down to the bottom of the website to see the comic section, so if you see pyramids and soaps and things like that, you're not in the wrong link. I sell stuff like that as well, but the comics are all the way down near the bottom. But I did a post just yesterday showing one of my subscribers who bought my diamond package, which is my second to largest package, which is about a $1,500 package. And all packages go from a $25 range up to a $5,000 range, which include 20 comics. And basically, the more expensive the package, the better the comics are. So if you want to see some of the things that I have put in my mystery boxes, give it a try. And if you order before the end of this month on the website, you don't even have to put a code in or anything. I'll throw in an extra comic for free, regardless of the size of the package. You can also type in the search engines, "We Love Comics Mystery Boxes," and there's a couple of people that have made videos over the years that purchased from me, so you could see that people really like what I include. As a matter of fact, and I'll give a plug to Alex, the comic book hoarder, which is another great guy on YouTube and somebody I subscribe to. We have very similar collections. He actually just posted a comment on that person's video saying it was the best mystery box that he's ever seen. So that's really nice of him to say, but hopefully you'll check it out. And also, while you're there to that other channel, just give him a subscription, give a comment, because I'm sure he would appreciate it. And again, you could just look at my latest post that I put by just going on my channel, where you'll see videos live, look at posts, and it's the last post I did. So with that being said, let's put on the video camera so we can show this unboxing. Now, the shout out I was talking about, and hello everybody, is to one of my, I don't know if they're a subscriber, but at least a viewer, Ron Hall 1970. So he was probably born the same year as me, if that's what that's supposed to be, because I was born November 9th, 1970. So if you're my age, I feel for you. But he made a suggestion only 2 days ago, and I already got the comic, recommending a book which to me made sense. Like, I normally will stay away from modern books, but this is one that was basically almost like 90s to early 2000s modern. So they gave some interesting comments about it, and I'll go over it as well, to where I thought it was worth taking the chance on. Now, as I always say, don't be afraid to make deals. Make sure you do your research. So as soon as this person gave me this information, which I appreciated, and again, it's Ron Hall 1970. I want to give credit where credit is due. I didn't want to be one of those people who says, well, somebody told me this and I don't remember their name. I went and looked it up. And plus, it was only 2 days ago, so it made it a lot easier to find. I went on eBay, and instead of buying the first one I saw, I'm like, all right, what's the highest grade I can get that is affordable and something I could make a deal on? So I'll show the book, and then I'll tell you all the discounts I got off of it, which, as per several videos you might have seen if you watch my stuff, this person did not even have a best offer. It was just a buy it now, and I contacted the person, and they were willing to give me a very acceptable offer. So the old way of just giving up, or not even trying, is never going to get you anywhere in life you want to be. If you are not afraid to take chances and go above and beyond what most are, you're going to miss opportunity after opportunity. I am not one of those people. And again, I don't do this, I'm not doing it to brag. And another dog owner, you could definitely tell as soon as you open it, which, I have no problem with dogs, but there is a distinct odor from a dog. All right, so it is exactly what I thought it was. It is a CGC book, but I do not believe I would ever have to worry about this book, being a problem, because it's not a $5,000-$6,000 book. It's not even a $1,000 book, but it could potentially become that. And this is one that I am most likely going to crack open and see if a pressing will bring it up a grade. So let me show the book. I could have gotten this a while ago, but I didn't think about it. Somebody brought it up, and I thought this was the time to get it. All right, so here we go. Here is the book I just picked up. So this is What If issue 105. Now, this is the first appearance of Spider-Girl, a.k.a. Mayday Parker. And they were talking about how in the Across the Spider-Verse, they showed, or they called her Mayday Parker. And if you know how Hollywood has been going lately, the chances of them bringing a female Spider-Man into the mix in the future, when they've already established that Mayday Parker is now part of the Sony Cinematic Universe, made me think this might be the time to pounce on this book. Because one, most people aren't talking about it. Two, you can get it fairly cheap or reasonable. And three, it has a lot of potential if this happens. Keep in mind that potential does not mean guarantee. So you are always, when you are taking a chance on an investment, you always have the chance and possibility of losing. I don't like to do that, even though it can happen. But I want to make sure I made a deal on this. Now, not only, this is a CGC 9.6, but here's the thing. This is a newsstand edition, because even though the direct edition will also have the barcode, it will say on the top direct edition. And just to show you, it does, hopefully it'll come in clearer, it does say newsstand edition. So this is one I don't have to worry about being fake or not. But I'm going to crack it open anyway, because I am going to assume that this person that sent this to CGC may not have known or did not pay for a pressing service. And the difference between a 9.6 and a 9.8 of a newsstand version of this is about $700-800. So for me, it's worth taking the chance on for that kind of difference. So I went on eBay And this, I'll share my tips. You know, you don't have to join my Patreon to get my tips, even though if you want to join my Patreon, you can. I'll give out information freely. In a day and age where everybody has to profit off of information, I'll just give it to you freely because I don't care. I go on eBay. Now, this one, I was specifically looking for this book because somebody recommended it. Well, Ron Hall 1970 recommended it to me. So usually I just write in the word comic and search from there. But this one I was looking specifically for What If number 105. Now, what I did was I wanted a newsstand edition because they tend to be rare. And I also did not want to spend what they were charging for a 9.8 newsstand. So I thought the best chance on this would be to try and get an already graded 9.6 where it was either going to be I most likely wanted CGC because most people that send their books to CGC, unless they're, you know, making comic book videos and know really about comics, they're not going to know about the pressing, or they're not going to spend the money on the pressing, especially when it comes to a newer book. They'll always think I think most of them would think, you know, why waste the money on something that probably could get a 9.8 on its own? So I went to What If 105. I went to 9.6 newsstand edition. And I found the lowest one on a buy it now. Now, their buy it now was listed at $364.95, which isn't bad, especially if I can crack this open and get it pressed. And if it could get a 9.8 sells between $800 and $1,000. And that's not including any potential movie deal later on. So that would dramatically change if this character does what this person recommended. But you guys know me. Even though this was the lowest one available on a buy it now, and by the way, out of 15 people, 5 people hit the like button, so we're batting 300. So in baseball, it's pretty good. Thank you to the 5 people. Even though $364.95 was the lowest that was available for a buy it now, and it was a relatively good deal, I wanted to make myself a better deal. So I contacted this person and basically said, hi, I see you're selling this comic for sale, blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to go word for word of what I said because I don't remember. But basically said, would you be willing to accept an offer for $250 for this comic? If so, I will pay for it right away, so you do not have to worry about, you know, waiting for this book to be sold. This person responded within probably 20 minutes. It actually surprised me. And they said they couldn't do $250, but they would do $280. I wasn't going to go back and forth at that point because this person did not have a buy it now with a best offer. So this wasn't even something they were considering. So the fact that they were only going to go $30 above what I asked for, I can definitely deal with that. So I told them that is perfectly acceptable. I thanked them for the generous counter offer. And I said, if you send me that offer, I'll pay for it right now. That's what they did. I paid for it right then, and they actually mailed it out the same day. So I got this within 2 days. So this person's definitely going to get one heck of a rating. So I saved $84.95 just by asking for it. Now, with shipping and handling and eBay taxes, because you guys know me, I always include everything. Because if I just said I paid $280 for it, I would be lying to you. That is what they accepted. But after shipping and after the eBay taxes, I paid $312.41. So if I would have paid $364.95 with shipping and handling and taxes, it would have been over $400. So if you've watched, especially my last few videos, you will see time and time again that I am not afraid to ask for a deal. Now, because I always have the mindset of, I don't need this book. Matter of fact, I don't need any book. But I've gotten, especially when it comes to key issues and things like that recently, I will go in saying, I got nothing to lose. Because if they say no, then you know what? I don't need the book. But if they say yes or work with me, I can save money where that was not on the table. So I went into this thinking, this is it's a cool spec book. I missed the opportunity a while back, but it did rise for a while and it came down. I didn't need this book. So if they said no, I could be like, you know what? I'm not going to spend that kind of money for this book, even if I thought it was an okay deal. I wanted to make sure, and again, I did it respectfully, I did it kindly, courteously, and with professionalism. Asked if they would be willing to take a certain price. And they flat out, well, like I said 250. They came back, said they can't go that low, but they'd be willing to go down to 280. And at that point, I was not willing to negotiate any further because I thought that was a reasonable offer that was not even available before I contacted them. So I wasn't going to nickel and dime them and try and get lower. I thought that was a fair enough amount, close to what I was willing to pay for, and was much lower than what he originally had it for. I paid for it and got it within 2 days. So, to me, a newsstand variant of this book that's already graded a 9.6. I'm going to crack this open, send it to PGX to get pressed and dry cleaned. Now, of course, that doesn't guarantee a 9.8 because, I don't see any dirt on this cover. I don't see any color break increases or anything. But you never know. There are no guarantees. But if it comes back a 9.8, I could make a deal right now and make profit, not even having to worry about if there is a movie and this character is in it. So deals can always be made if you don't live your life in fear and doubt. The world is trying to teach you to be fearful and to be doubtful of everything that's going on in the world. I would recommend highly against that form of thinking unless you like feeling that way. If you like feeling insecure, if you like the fact that you're afraid to make a decision, if you like the fact that you don't have to take charge of your life, because, so many people are afraid of failure that they never even attempt to succeed, because then they don't have to worry about failing. But that will keep you forever from having a chance to win. It's like they say with the lottery. You got to be in it to win it. If you put $1 into the lottery, you have a better chance than somebody that put nothing into the lottery. Now, I'm not saying everybody go sell your house to go buy lottery tickets because, a fool and their money is soon parted. But I think you understand what I'm getting at. So don't just accept things. And even if it's a book you absolutely want, because like I said, for the first time in God knows how long, I actually looked for a specific book. And I didn't just buy the first one I saw. I made sure I researched what they were going for, what the lowest one was for that grade that was already graded, one that looked like it might have potential to possibly bump up a grade, and then proceed to contact the seller who did not have a best offer available with an offer that ended up happening. So would my life have changed dramatically if I didn't get this book or I paid the higher price? Who knows? Who cares? I want to show people that you could make deals if you get rid of your old mindset of, oh, it's too hard, or, oh, what if they say no? So what if they say no? So what if they don't respond? So what if they respond with an insult, saying they were insulted? I've actually had people like that where I've messaged them, and it's not like there's a book for $900 and say I'll give you $50 for it. But I'll try for a discount within reason, and once in a blue moon you'll get that person that gets highly offended. So what? You just know that you don't have to deal with a person like that. It's not the end of the world, and that's why I say when it comes to key issue books like Fantastic 449 and many others, even if it's a book that you absolutely want on your must-have list for 2024, if you miss out on an opportunity, there will always be another one. So don't put all your eggs into one basket thinking, it's right there in front of me, I gotta pounce on it now, because that's emotion talking, and that's when you will overspend on something and regret it later, especially if the price drops down a little bit. And I see that all the time. Make deals happen, and keep making those deals until a deal has happened. Because, like I say, if you ask out 700 people and they all say no, and then on the 701st attempt, you ask somebody out and they said yes, do you care about the 700 that said no? So it doesn't matter there was 700 that said no. You care about the one that said yes. Again, in a darkened room, one match will light that room up. So who cares about the large numbers? It is cause and effect. I made an attempt. This person could have said no. They could have ignored me. They could have made fun of me. They could have insulted me. They could have whatever. I'd be like, okay, let's find another deal, or I'll just move on and say, okay, I'm not getting a price that I'm comfortable with, even though it might be a potential spec book. If I'm not willing to go above a certain price, I'll just wipe my hands and say, well, this book is not for me. And I'll move on. Don't fixate on something like if you don't get it at this particular second, then you'll never get it. Now, of course, if there's an extremely rare book or something you want with such passion that is so hard to find that when you have an opportunity and you have the finances to do it, go for it. But a book like that, even though it might have potential, and it might, do I need it to the point where I'll overspend just to make a video to say I have it? Like I've seen so many people do on YouTube. And it's funny, I see a lot of these people, well, you know what, I'm not even going to go there. But I see a bunch of YouTubers that will just buy a comic to say they own it. And that is why probably 90%, if not higher, of the channels that you watch will never tell you what they paid for them. Probably the number one reason why they won't tell you is their spouses would probably murder them because they don't have communication with their wife. My wife is subscribed to my channel. My wife knows what I pay for books, but she also knows that I bought this house in cash because of some of my books. It's called honest and open communication. But the number one reason why most YouTubers will never tell you the price they pay on their books is for that reason. That they will probably have their wives or husbands disown them. So they would rather be sneaky and dishonest. Which kind of makes sense if you think about with the whole CGC scandal. How many people are trying to let this just slip under the radar? By their deeds you shall know them. The second reason I think most people will not mention the price they paid is because there are many people that will just buy a book so they can make a video. Notice since day one of my channel, and you could go back, I shut down my original channel because of the situation that many of you know about, and I'm not going to hash into that here. But just look at the very first video from here, where I show comic books. I tell you the prices I pay for them. I put the price if I added a pressing before I made the deal with PGX. The taxes, if there is any. The shipping fees. This is important so this way people can actually know what is possible. I show time and time again major key books. I'm not saying I sent $10 on, Raggedy Ann and Andy number 14. Anybody can do that. No one wants the book. No one cares about the book. I don't even know if the book exists. And if it did, if you paid $1 for it, you probably paid 50 cents too much. 75 cents too much. I'm talking you see time and time again. I made a deal with this person for many books. How much do you think I paid for this? This was actually a throw-in book, believe it or not. If you haven't seen the video of all the comics, watch it. This is just one of them. This was one of the throw-ins. When you average it out, I paid $3.51 a piece. And one of them I'm going to be sending in graded. I'll probably be doing it in this month's 4 books. So I'll give you a sneak peek. I looked at this book. This has 9.8 potential. This is X-Men 139. I'm sorry, 129. First appearance of Emma Frost and Kitty Pryde. I looked up and down on this book. This has 9.8 potential. I paid $3.51 because I made a deal for a group of comics that most people probably wouldn't have touched. So I'm showing all the time key comics that people want, that may be at the peak of their value, that you can get deals if you are willing to pass it up if they don't offer what you're willing to pay. And if you're willing to know what something's value truly is and not be afraid to make a deal, but do it respectfully. Do it with kindness. Like I showed in several videos, I had people when I asked, would you be willing to take such and such price? They would flat out say, no, I can't do that. And instead of just saying, okay, well, they said no, so I'll just move on, or returning with a nasty email or begging and pleading, I actually would respond with, I can totally understand that. Thank you for your kind response. If for some reason you can't get another offer, you change your mind, please do not hesitate to contact me, and I would love to do business with you. Good luck with your sale. And how many people, just in the past few videos I've made, actually contacted me and accepted my offer, or made an offer that was close enough to where I thought it was an opportunity to buy. Change your mindset. Stop following these big YouTube channels that have tons of money that can just throw them around and buy amazing Fantasy 15s like they're going out of style and make you think, oh, well, I can do that too. You can do it, but you might not have a trust fund that some of them do. You might not have the bank account some of them do. You guys know, if you've been following my channel, I've been unemployed since October. I have not been doing jobs on the side. I sold, except for New Year's Eve. That was the only job I've had, and I told everybody about that. I didn't try and hide it. But I haven't had a job since October. I don't have thousands of dollars in my bank account. And yet, look what I'm able to acquire. If you watch just the videos I made this year, I've actually made better deals this year in the month of January than I did all of 2023. It's changing your mindset. So if you want to follow these big popular channels that give you false information or misguided information or information with an alternative and an ulterior motive in back behind the scenes, if these are the wagons you want to hitch your horses to, by all means you can. But I'm trying to show people that may not have the trust fund money, that may not have thousands of dollars in their bank account, who may not be comic store owners with access to tons of variations and connections, that even you too, a small nobody like me who has 20 people watching, and at the peak would probably be 35, who will have a view count total of maybe 300-400 at best, who gets about $15 to $30 a month in ad revenue on a good month, that you can get key comics as well. And that's why, before this year is over, I can't guarantee it, but I'm going to try my best every single video to show those comics scrolling on the bottom of the screen in hopes that one day somebody will trust me enough to do a trade with me and see that it will go through and all parties will be happy. And show that you don't need millions of dollars to get something that you want. You just need hard work, dedication, faith, and losing your fear. Fear is a learned trait. So unlearn what you have learned. So that is the book, What If 105. It's a CGC 9.6. Person had it listed for $364.95 with no buy it now. I made them an offer of $250. They came back at $280. So with shipping and taxes, came out to $312.41. It's a 9.6 newsstand variant of What If 105. The first appearance of Mayday Parker, who could potentially have a movie if you see how Hollywood's been going lately. And this one has a potential to be cracked open and maybe get a 9.8 with a pressing and dry cleaning. Now, so many people will say, oh, I'd never buy that book, or I wouldn't spend that price, or I wouldn't take that chance, or I wouldn't crack it open, or I wouldn't send it to get regraded. To me, it doesn't matter what anybody else says they would or would not do, because they are not my life. I do not let other people's thoughts dictate what I do and do not do. Even if every single person watched this tomorrow And there were 5 million people that all wrote me saying, you are crazy for getting that book. I'd never get it. Wouldn't change it. Wouldn't make me regret it. I mean, how many people, if you read the comments about when I was sending in my X-Men #1, the CGC graded 3.0, how many people said, oh, I'd never trust to send that in the mail and this, that, and the other thing? Well, it came back safe. Now I have peace of mind that it's not one of the CGC books that was going through a dishonest seller or sellers. Which, by the way, somebody asked me about what I thought about the latest CGC interviewer with one of the employees of CGC. They're doing damage control. They're never going to give you the real numbers. Whether they have inside people helping that situation or not, even if they did, they'll never tell you. The YouTube community is definitely showing its true colors. The ones that care more about the principle and integrity, and the ones that care more about their money and keeping things quiet. So, to me, they're going to be like a politician. They're going to promise you the stars. They're going to say everything that you want to hear. They're going to placate you because they want one and one thing only: your money. And they can't get it if they tell you, well, we found out it's really in the thousands, and we found out it might be an employee or two that were actually in on it, and there was actually more than one person. They're never going to tell you that stuff, because what would happen? No one would trust them anymore, and they would lose their money. By their deeds you shall know them. And that is why channels like my own are forever going to stay small, because I am not willing to sell my soul to make tons of money, to mislead the people who put their trust in me over these years, these months, these weeks, or even these days, because I get new subscribers and new viewers all the time. I'm not willing to risk losing their, and these are strangers who I'll probably never meet and, will not affect me in any way, but my integrity means I know who I am. Know thyself. I worry about how I view myself and how God views me. Those are the only two people that matter. Well, actually, my wife and my mother and people like that, but you know what I mean. The world is never going to change if people care more about money than anything else in life. And those people always, throughout history, fall. So, the more people cover up for CGC, for example, who try and look the other way, who try and continue on like nothing's happening, who don't give you the straight facts, those people will always end up losing out in the long run, and they'll all cry, I can't believe this happened to me. You get what you give. You may not just get what you give right away. So, my channel will never grow. And I'm perfectly fine with that, because the very few people that watch, they listen. They follow. They understand that I'm not here to tell you what to do. I'm here to share my perspective, especially if somebody asks for it, and I'm going to not sugarcoat it. Last time I checked, sugarcoating something is actually a bad thing. Why would you ever want to follow somebody that tells you what you want to hear, even if what you want to hear is detrimental to you, your business, your finances, your family, your morals, whatever? Just because you don't have the courage to accept that maybe you hitched your horse to the wrong wagon, once you realize that, you can disconnect the horse. You have choices. Doing nothing is a choice. Placating is a choice. But in the grand scheme of things, is that what you want to be known for? Because I know many people with some of these bigger channels. They follow them, they listen to them, they do this, that, and the other thing. But I hear in the background all the time how they don't respect them. And they just follow them because they probably get something from them too. Don't use people. And I know that all too well, because that's why I shut down my original channel, because people that I thought were my friends on a live video admitted that they were just using my channel because I was getting a lot of views, a lot of subscribers, and they could make a lot of money. And they pretended to be my friends. And that hurt. When you are stabbed in the back by people that you think you can trust, it is disgusting. And it is a hurtful feeling I wouldn't wish on my worst enemy. So those people that did that to me, I wouldn't wish it on them. And I certainly wouldn't do it to them. That's not the way to live life. If you want to, on your deathbed, think back at your life and be proud of who you were and what you did. The three most powerful things in the universe are, one, love. Number three is love. Most people say love is number one, but can you not choose who you love? You're not going to love your daughter and son as you would some murderer that you don't know halfway around the world. So you can choose who you love. So number three, the most powerful energy is love. Number two most powerful energy is empathy, the ability to feel what others are going through. And the number one energy is choice. Make the right choice, because many people these days are taking the wrong choices. And there are always consequences. So even though, as usual, I will start out a video showing a comic, and after I talk about that comic, the ones that were just there for that will leave, which is perfectly fine. And there will be very few people that will listen to, I guess, my comic book and life sermon. One of the reasons why I do it here is because this stuff got me banned off my other channel from YouTube, my Bar 911-970. I am prohibited from making live videos or videos over like 7 minutes on my channel because I was speaking the truth. And YouTube and Google don't like those kind of people. So I've been able to get away with it here because it's a comic book channel. So that's why I do this stuff here. But some of you like it. And out of the 14 people watching, 12 of you were kind enough to hit the like button. I'm trying to get people to maybe think in a different way, because if you can think in a different way when it comes to your life, you will start to understand that you have more power than you can ever comprehend. And that means you can get rid of your fear, which means maybe then you won't care so much if you take a chance on buying a comic book, because in the grand scheme of things, it's not going to be the end-all, be-all if you get it or don't get it. And maybe you'll rethink who you connect your time, energy, and values to. You know, if you're around a bunch of criminals, you're never going to succeed. If you surround yourself with dishonest people, you're never going to go far. And you'll find that many of these people that pretend to care about you, like these businesses that pretend to care about you, will not give a flying fig Newton about you if there's a choice between losing money from their perspective or losing you as a customer. Be loyal to those who are loyal to you, which means you can change at any moment. Because yes, I have the deal with PGX. I don't have a contract signed with them. I am not called by the owner, Daniel, saying, oh, well, you really shouldn't say what you said on that video. Never once in the 6 years that I've been doing my thing with PGX, never once has Daniel Patterson, the owner of PGX, ever called me, and he watches my videos. So shout out to Daniel if you're watching this. Never once did he ever call me and say, could you take it easy on some of the things you're saying, or could you maybe say it this way? Never once. Gives me the freedom to be allowed to speak, even if it's not 100% positive about the situation occurring with his product or his service. Those are the people I want to deal with. Not the ones that hide as long as they can until so many people demand an answer that they finally come out with a half-ass answer that nobody pretty much believes that has an integrity in their system. And you see all of the people that put all their eggs in the CGC basket that have so much to lose that they are willing to take away their integrity for fear that they could lose the value of their books when they went in blindly and never gave them any pushback for things they did wrong. And they stayed silent through the little events until the big event really could screw them. And they're still trying to stay silent. These are the people you want to take advice from? You can. But don't be shocked if you lose more times than you win just to be on the popular side. To me, joining somebody just because everybody else is doing it says to me that person is weak-minded and they do not have the strength and character to be able to do things on their own, and they need mommy and daddy to tell them how to live. And you could do that, but you'll have to live by their rules. Why do you think most kids try and move out of their parents' house as soon as they can? Because they're tired of mommy and daddy telling them how to live. Eventually you have to grow a pair and say, all right, I'm going to move out. I have to now be responsible and I make my own choices, which means not being afraid to fail. Because failure for a smart person means I don't have to go that way anymore. Failure isn't, oh, woe was me. Failure is if there are 4 doors that lead out of a room and you open one of the doors and it's blocked, you failed to exit the room. Most people will shut that door, get down on the ground. They'll be wrapping their hands around their knees, crying, saying, oh, I can't believe I failed, and give up. Well, they never leave the room and they die there. You can open the second door and find there's a wall of fire that you can't get through. And so there would be people that'll get down on the ground then and say, well, I tried once and I failed. I tried again, I failed. I'm giving up. And they die in that room. And there are some people that say, you know what, let me try again. They open the third door, and it's another cemented door they can't get through. And they say, all right, well, like in baseball, 3 strikes, I'm out. There are 4 doors. I failed 3 times. So I failed 75% of the time. Woe is me. I give up. And what do? They die in the room. The smart ones say, okay, there are 4 doors. I opened the first door, could not get out of the room. Open the second door, could not get out of the room. Open the third door, could not get out of the room. So even though I failed 3 out of the 4 times, I now know the 4th door is the way out. And I open the door and I walk out of the room. Most people see failure as end all be all, give up, now woe is me, I'm the victim, I can't do anything. And some people will try maybe 1 or 2 more times and then say, well, I give up. Well, when you give up, you create the very thing that you were trying to avoid ever happening. Don't do that. And that's why I even say how it involves in comics. Don't be afraid to make an offer. Don't be afraid to make a deal. Don't be afraid to pass up on something because it's not what you think it is or something you can afford. Trust your instincts. Don't be afraid to walk away, even if it's something you absolutely wanted. Because if you overpay for something or you put yourself in a scenario that you really aren't happy about and you just did it just to do it, like how many people do you know in your life got married just because they were getting to an age where everybody said, oh, how come you're not married yet? And they marry the first person that like blinks an eye at them and they have a miserable life. I've been married to my wife now for 13 years. And we still act like it's the first day we met. Because I waited for the right one. I didn't find the right one until I was 40. Because I was not willing to settle. And I was engaged twice before that. And I dated a lot of women. A lot of quality women, too. Most people won't believe that, but I don't give a damn what anybody thinks. I know. I didn't want to be alone. I didn't want to be single. I didn't want to be just dating. I wanted to get married when I was in my 20s. But I didn't want to just get married just to get married. Like one of my tattoos. I remember the first time I had enough money and I was of age to buy a tattoo. I had maybe like 50, 60 bucks. If you know anything about tattoos, even 20, 30 years ago, you're not getting much for 50, 60 bucks. So the only thing I could get at the time would have been like a yin-yang version of a dolphin, a blue and black dolphin. I still remember it like it was yesterday. Because I was 18 years old, I'm 53 now. And I was like, you know what? That's the only thing I can afford. Maybe I'll just get it. And then I stopped and thought about it. It's like, this is going to be on your body for the rest of your life. Is this what you want on your body? And I walked away. And I did not get a tattoo until I was in my mid to late 20s. And I don't regret it one bit. I was not afraid to walk away. Wait for deals, make deals, and walk away from things that aren't deals. Do not be a follower. Be a leader. Stand out. The world does not change by the world does not change by the masses doing something. The world changes when the very few or the singular does something out of the ordinary of the masses and changes the world. So if you want to follow the masses who do just that, follow, you will spend your whole life doing just that, being a follower. So there are many, even comic book channels, that are going to placate you. They're going to tell you what you want to hear. They're going to keep you away from all the bad noise out there. They're going to spin everything to make it sound like, oh, well, it's just this one time, or oh, it's just this, or oh, don't worry. And then wonder why your collection sucks, you have no money, your value of your comics or any collections are going down, down, and down, and the hot flavor of the month is no longer that, and it's a melted piece of garbage. Or you could follow the few people that most people are jealous of, afraid of, and cannot talk about, because anybody that doesn't like me will base it on the fact I talk too much, okay? I say things that they don't like, okay? But they can't call me out on anything I've done wrong. I've never stolen from anybody I've ever made a deal with. I've never said I was going to do something and not did it. Like if I said I was going to send out a comic, I would do one of two things. I would send it out the day I said I would send it out, or if I couldn't, I would let the person know and explain why. But nobody has any information of me doing anything bad. It's like politics. You cannot compete with truth, so you just insult the person's character. And people get away with it, and that's why most people are afraid to act, because they don't want their character assassinated. Who cares what a bunch of people say about you that don't know you and are just basing it on rumors, lies, or their own jealousy or their own fear of themselves? Really? I was dumb to shut down my original channel because of that. I would never make that same mistake again. Thank you to the 13 people that stuck around to listen. Whether you genuinely like to hear what I have to say, or you're just watching because you just love some form of drama, doesn't matter to me. You're here and not somewhere else. 15 people hit the like button. I appreciate the ratio, not the quantity. Quality over quantity. Let's do today's surprise subscriber shoutouts. And by the way, let me know what you thought about my AI art, the comic I got. Have you made deals? Have any other recommendations you would like to have for other people to see? Participate. So let's go with Steven Spock. I don't think I've ever seen you here before. And we're going to go also, let's see, Slave of Christ. There you go. That's a good one right there. You both are today's surprise subscriber shoutouts, which means if either of you have a YouTube channel, you could post a link in the comment section to either a specific video or to your YouTube channel itself. If you don't and you have a social network you'd rather send a link to, you can do that instead. Or if you don't do that, or you'd prefer, if you sell anything on eBay, Amazon, or any of those places, I don't care if it's comic books or not, doesn't have to be, as long as it's child friendly. If you want to post a link to one of your sales, you can do that instead. So I'll leave you the opportunity to do any of the three. Keep in mind, if you post a link in the comment section, it will not show up right away because it does have to be approved. This is how I keep spam people from putting pornographic or inappropriate things on my comment section of my videos, so no one clicks on anything that takes you somewhere you don't want to be or don't want your child to be. So if you do see a link, it means it has been approved. It will take you exactly where it says it will be. And I ask you to do what most people and other channels don't do. Subscribe to them, view their channels, give them likes, follow them, support them. That's what a real community is about. Supporting people, not separate little entities that try and hush everybody up, gang up on them, or give you misinformation so they can line their pockets. Let's make it into a real community. I'm willing to work with anybody who's willing to work with me. So, thanks for watching. Give our shoutouts a shout out. And do not forget, ladies and gentlemen, it is not you. It is not I. It is We Love Comics. And Trade Paper Dad says, oh no, Yankee pinstripes. Ha. You know why? I like winners. Thanks for watching, everybody. Let's see if we can get one of these trades happening. Look on the bottom of the screen. I'm looking for one or any of those particular comics on the bottom of the screen. If you are somebody that has one of those books and would love to do a trade with you, I have a video that I made about 3 months ago showing about 30 different graded comics I would be willing to trade. If it takes all 30 to get one of them and it's a fair trade, I have no problem doing that. You can even talk about some of the comics not on that video that you've seen on other videos of mine if you were interested, and maybe I might include those. So contact me at peacefulfeelings@yahoo.com. Check the latest post I did just the other day about one of my subscribers who bought one of my $1,500 mystery boxes. He does an unboxing, so you could see some of the comics and some of the things I am willing to deal with people that purchase from me. And if you're interested in purchasing one of my mystery boxes, the link is in the description, but I'll place it right here in the live chat as well. Try it out because it does support me, and the money goes towards 1, helping stray cats, 2, helping to pay bills, and 3, going towards comic books to help you guys get more of the content you love. So if you want to support me that way without having to go to my PayPal account or without going to my Patreon account, which you can, it's in the description if you want. But this is a way that you can contribute and get something back. Because I don't need money from people. I mean, we'll put it this way. You never refuse somebody's kindness. But I would like, for example, never have a Patreon where you have to spend money to watch a video or get advice. I'll give it to you here freely. If you want to say that's a good thing, like, for example, you go to a restaurant, somebody gives you great service, you tip them because you love them. You love what they did, but it's not necessary. So that's not something I need, but it will always be appreciated. So with that being said, let's get you guys to give some comments. Go check out our shout-outs. And don't forget to have your trolls spayed or neutered. Have a wonderful